So I watched Nope, and by far the scariest scene was actually the most realistic. Obviously, spoilers ahead, so if you haven't watched it, save this video and then.
I gotta go to the movies, man. I gotta see Wakanda, man, before it comes out of theaters, bro. I'm selling it back. That's tough. I can go tomorrow Thanksgiving. Man, I'm going to see the movie, man. Like I gotta go see the movie, man.
Back when you do. So for me, the most chilling scene in the entire movie was the Gordy scene. Basically, there was a TV show revolving around a family adopting a chimpanzee. Except one day, in front of a live studio audience, Gordy went on a rampage, violently murking two actors and severely maiming a young girl. And I do think it was a reference to the 2009 Travis the Chimp attack. Travis was a pet chimpanzee, two words that have no business being in the same sentence. He was adopted by Sandra and Jerome Harold, and he was basically a celebrity in that community. He was known by everyone, appeared on TV, and even took pictures with members of the police department, which is actually going to be really important later. Travis would sleep in bed with her and her husband and would even take baths with them. No comment on that. Travis could open doors with keys, he knew how to watch TV, bro could drive, and he would even drink wine with his owners. To the point where Sandra said this, and I don't think anything has ever aged worse. And it's not like Travis didn't.
Wait. What did she say?
Sandra,
until you've eaten with a chimp and bathed with a chimp, you don't know a chimp. She said.
This, and I don't think anything has ever aged worse. And it's not like Travis didn't have incidents where people saw what he was capable of. One time he bit someone so hard that it drew blood and they had to go get a rabies shot. But when that person filed a police report, it was never investigated. I wonder why. They had to go get a rabies shot. But when that person filed a police report, it was never investigated.
Wow.
Another time, Travis was in a car when someone threw a bottle at him, causing him to hold up traffic for hours and evade cops as he attempted to get his lick back. But nothing ever happened and nobody did anything because they claimed Travis was only playing. I wonder why. However, after that, Sandra decided to keep Travis inside at all times. And after her husband passed and her mental health declined, so did her ability to care for Travis. So now Travis was stuck inside, overweight from eating nothing but junk food, depressed and never able to socialize with his own kind. And bro was very much maidenless. Oh, and he was on Xanax. Yeah, at that point, Travis was just a landmine with a pulse, and in 2009, it finally exploded. While helping her friend lure Travis back inside, Charlotte Nash held up his Tickle Me Elmo to get his attention. Travis charged and proceeded to horrifically maul her.
Wait, damn, I can't read the side notes.
To get his attention. Travis charged and proceeded.
A chimp smiling is almost always a sign of aggression. Ew, that's crazy. That's kind of scary though. That's why monkeys give me like sociopath, or especially chimps. They give me like sociopath type of energy, bro. Cause like, oh, that's the thumbnail for sure. Like, that's scary as hell.
Horrifically maul her. Travis brutally mutilated the woman, even after getting hit in the head with a shovel and stabbed in the back with a butcher knife. Eventually, Travis was put down and Charlotte Nash survived. But her face and hand had literally been torn off. It was so bad that first responders and cops needed therapy after witnessing the carnage. And Nope actually referenced her as a disfigured child star is seen wearing a veil, the same kind Charlotte would wear after the attack. Not to mention Gordy and Travis died in the exact same way. And in both cases, a wild animal is treated as a commodity and exploited. The result traumatized everyone involved. But at the end of the day, Travis was the biggest victim in all this along with Charlotte Nash. He should have been living his best life in the jungle as a wild animal. Instead, he was drinking wine and taking Xanax as someone's flex. So if you're ever rewatching this movie, keep in mind that this actually happened. Here's some more facts about the Travis Chimp incident. Basically stuff I left out in the first video that I figured would be important to know. After the first incident where Travis held up traffic for hours, Connecticut actually ended up passing a law where you couldn't own a primate heavier than 50 pounds. By the time of the attack, he was pushing past 200. But the law didn't apply to Travis because people assumed that the Heralds had him for so long that he was considered not to be a public threat. Sandra Harold was actually warned by an animal control officer that once Travis reached maturity, he'd be more prone to violent and aggressive tendencies, like male chimps in the wild. Especially since he wouldn't have an outlet for certain urges he would get once he became mature. But obviously, Sandra didn't listen. Now, a lot of people blame Sandra for the event, and I'm one of them. But I think it is worth mentioning that in 2000, her only daughter tragically passed in a car accident, causing her to literally see and treat Travis as a child since she had lost her only one. And when her husband died a couple years later, Travis was literally all she had. Not justifying it at all, but, you know.
Understanding.
Travis was also visibly depressed at the loss of his adopted father. After his death, Travis would apparently take pictures of Jerome Harold off the wall and hold them tightly, clearly mourning. According to reports, Travis had been prescribed Xanax by a vet to help him calm down. He was even given Xanax-laced tea the day of the attack. Xanax is often used to help treat anxiety, but it can also cause hallucination, rage, and mania. After horrifically mauling Charlotte Nash, Travis was shot 4 times. Mortally wounded, Travis went back to the house and passed away right next to his cage, which you have to assume was his safe space. On a wholesome note, Charlotte Nash actually ended up undergoing a face transplant and actually seems to be doing a lot better these days. And according to her, she's no longer in pain and doesn't even seem to really remember the attack, just what people tell her about it. And honestly, it's probably better that way.
Facts.
Despite all she's been through, she's still managing to stay positive. Also, after the police officer who put down Travis was denied therapy, laws were passed to make sure cops that had to use lethal force on an animal could receive therapy for mental and emotional recovery. On this episode of Why No Human Should Ever Try to Own a Chimp is a story that, if I'm being honest, kind of messed me up the first time I heard it. Yeah, more than Travis.
That little box in the back of your fridge, a baking companion, a fridge freshener. And now,
Former NASCAR driver St. James Davis and his wife LaDonna had a chimp they had adopted from Tanzania named Mo. And before you say it, no, this story isn't going in the direction you think it is. The couple treated Mo like he was their son, dressing him up, bathing him, and they even taught him how to use the toilet. Mo was even the best man at their wedding. But after an incident in 1998 where Mo attacked and bit an officer, the couple were forced to give up Mo to a wildlife rescue center in California. But they loved him, and this didn't stop them from visiting Mo regularly. One day in 2005, the couple were celebrating Mo's 39th birthday and even brought him his own cake. So, important fact about chimps. Chimpanzee society works as a hierarchy, where low ranks are often bullied and forced to give up food to their superiors who get first servings. That structure is actually why baboons have become a real problem in parts of South Africa. You see, they tell you not to feed the baboons because when you do, not only are the baboons associating people with food, which is bad, it also means they start seeing all humans as low ranks and start expecting food, which is worse. This would be important for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, 2 other chimps saw the couple give Mo the birthday cake. Reason number 2, that was a really bad time for those 2 chimps to escape. The 2 chimps violently confronted them and one of them bit off LaDonna's thumb. And to protect his wife, St. James Davis put himself between his wife and the chimps. What followed was, without exaggeration, one of the most horrifically brutal attacks I've ever read about. The 2 chimps mauled and mutilated the man, and if you read about exactly how they did it, it didn't seem...
Meaning of mutilated. Inflict a violent and disfiguring injury on... Okay. Inflict serious damage, alright.
Chimps were trying to end him. It seemed like they were actively trying to torture him. One chimp chewed his finger off while another gouged his eye out. In what seems like a common chimp move, they essentially tore most of his face off. They even went as far as to chew off his genitals and a good chunk of his rear end, which is another thing they're famous for. They basically did everything but murk him. Keep in mind, this was all over a birthday cake. And at this point, you might be wondering where Mo was when this was all going down. As a chimp that grew up around nothing but humans, the event terrified him so much that he appeared paralyzed. Eventually, a couple workers put the chimps down, but by the time they did, the damage was already done.
Jeez.
Former high school football player and NASCAR driver James Davis had pretty much been torn to shreds. He nearly bled out 3 times on the way to the hospital, and the first 2 places wouldn't even take him. Someone even said they might as well just drop him at the coroner's office. Eventually, he was taken to a trauma center where he'd go on to have about 12 surgeries and would even be medically induced into a coma. Against virtually every force of nature, Davis survived and was discharged 6 months later. The moral of the story is still the same.
He doesn't look that bad, though. Like, he doesn't look that bad. He just looks like an old man who kind of messed up his nose. He doesn't really look that bad, if that's him. But, you know, damn, man, that's tough. Monkeys are vicious, bro. Because they really are, like, emotional, bro. That's really what makes them so dangerous. It's like they're emotional. So it's like, if a bear attacks you, it's like, okay, it's either you're threatening or you're food. So I'm going to eat you for nutrients, or I'm protecting my cubs, or I'm protecting myself or territory. It's fair play, fair game. Monkeys? Like, yo, bro, monkeys will, like, do you in if they don't bangs with you. Like, yo, like, I don't like the way he's moving. I'm on his body. I'm not trying to murk him. I don't want nutrients. I don't feel unsafe. I'm just really trying to violate. Like, even, like, big cats, like lions, tigers, jaguars, like, they won't really, if they don't see you as food or danger, They'll leave you alone. Monkeys are so much like humans, bro. They're so fucked up. But it's like, damn.
Davis had spent nearly 30 years of his life living with a chimp, and all it took was bad luck and a birthday cake to nearly flatline him. It just goes to show, chimps are really good at being wild animals, but really bad at being pets. So I watched Nope, and without spoiling too much, it reminded me of something that actually happened. And I'm just gonna put that right there. This is Timothy Treadwell. If that name sounds familiar, then you know what time it is. I think it's important to mention he wasn't like a zoologist or an educator or something. He was a dude that auditioned for Cheers and then lost out to Woody Harrelson. That caused him to spiral down the path of things I cannot talk about on here. Let's just say he had his demons and his demons had hands. But he turned his life around after going on a trip to Alaska with a buddy and observing bears up close. He decided right then and there that he'd dedicate his entire life to bears. Yeah, for over a decade he watched, studied, recorded, and even directly interacted with bears. He would get extremely close to them and would sometimes even play with bear cubs, because he claimed that he had their trust. And if you watch Nope, you know exactly where this is finna go. Now, I will say Treadwell did try to make an impact by traveling all over as an activist trying to educate the public about bears and why they should be protected, but he also threatened their lives by getting way too close. And as time went on, he started getting cocky, which led him to do the unthinkable. So a little fun fact about bears, before they hibernate, they have to eat and put on as much weight as possible. The competition for food makes them 1,000 times more aggressive and infinitely more of a death sentence to be around. Against literally everyone's warning, he chose this time to go camping around them. Not only that, but he purposely set up his camp around a known bear trail so that bears would walk right past his tent. Not only that, but he refused to carry bear spray because the Steve Irwin stereotype figured that bears trusted him so much that he'd never need it. And not only that, he brought his girlfriend with him. So pretty much he chose the worst place at a worst time with no way to defend himself.
Wow, and his girl really trusted him though. Damn, she really trusted him though. Like with her life. It's one thing to trust somebody, like, you know, to be somewhere on time, or to trust them with your money, but to trust them literally with your life. I mean, she probably seen him. It's not like he's just talking though. It wasn't like, oh, you know, I know what I'm doing, but you never really seen him with no bears. Like, you seen him out in the field, like, yo, I'm really him. Like, I really do this. I'm really Himothy. Like, I can, like, me and the bears, we're locked, bro. We're locked in, bro. I got you. So, I guess.
You know where it goes from here. On October 5th, 2003, Treadwell spoke to a friend about how much fun he was having. On October 6th, the Rangers found his and his girlfriend's half-eaten corpses around their campsite. But the most disturbing part, a video camera was actually left on as the grizzly attacked them. Another cute little fact about bears, they don't wait until you flatline, they just start eating. Which meant there was a 6-minute audio recorded of him screaming in agony as he was getting mauled and eaten alive while his girlfriend could only watch. And since she was also screaming, the bear eventually went after her too. The audio was so graphic and traumatizing that it was never released to the public. You can find reenactments based on what happened on YouTube, but the original was vaulted out of respect for the family. Also, the bear that was only guilty of being a bear was tracked down and put out of commission. Obviously, soul eviction by bear is the worst way to meet God, and nobody deserves that. But bro literally asked for it, and it all could have been avoided with one word. Nope. Yes.
During Walmart's Black Friday deals for days, you can score big all week long on tech, toys, and more. Black Friday deals are online now and in-store Friday. Shop Walmart's Black Friday deals for days.
Little Caesar's Detroit-style deep dish pizza that's actually from Detroit, and just $8.99. Pizza.
Yeah, shout out to this comment, because I honestly don't know how I didn't talk about them already. So Siegfried and Roy were two German entertainers who blew up from their magic act. They were basically the magic what the Beatles were to rock. And their act often involved exotic animals, but especially big cats like tigers. You probably know how this movie ends. For years, the two became world famous for their performances, and especially for the ways they incorporate the wild animals. And you get the sense that they genuinely cared for all of their animals. Especially Roy, who had been around wild exotic animals since he was 10. And it was during a show on Roy's birthday that he performed his usual act with Manticore, a 400-pound white tiger. But this time, the tiger wasn't cooperating and was instead biting Roy's sleeve while ignoring his commands. And it was while animal trainers attempted to get Manticore under control that it finally happened. In front of a horrified audience, Manticore severely mauled the leading co-star, clamping his jaws around his neck and eventually dragging him off stage. It took animal trainers spraying him with a fire extinguisher to get the tiger to release his death grip. Roy would survive, but the attack severed his spine, cut an artery, partially paralyzed him, and even caused a stroke, virtually cutting both men's careers short. Roy refused to blame his tiger for the attack, famously telling trainers not to hurt Manticore as he was being wheeled to the hospital for life-saving surgery. Surgery that he allegedly flatlined multiple times during. Later, Roy claimed that the attack was actually the tiger trying to save his life. Roy said he was already suffering a stroke, and Manticore sensed it and attempted to drag him to safety, the same way a mother would do to her cub. However, the animal trainer that actually worked with them had a very different story. Trainer Chris Lawrence would come out and say that the real reason for the attack was that Roy's relationship with the huge cat had deteriorated. And when Roy started going off script and doing things they hadn't practiced, that's when the tiger went, you thought I was gonna say crazy? Nah, the tiger tigered. The trainer would also say that Roy had made several crucial mistakes handling Manticore and lied about what happened to protect the show, their brand, and himself. Roy basically called him a clout chaser. And I want to add, just for the record, there was literally nothing protecting the audience from the tigers. I mean, yeah, they were on a leash, but we're talking about an animal that solos that for a living. Your leash means nothing.
Look at that animal though.
Leash, but we're talking about
This don't even look real. That does not look real, bruh. It's tough.
an animal that solos that for a living. Your leash means nothing. But I guess after several years of performing, Roy and Siegfried figured they had complete control over the big cats. No spoilers, but major Nope vibes. But yeah, long story short, Wild Animal went Wild Animal. But why am I bringing this up? Well, a couple reasons. The largest population of tigers in the world is in India. You want to take a guess where number 2 is? Texas. In fact, this was in Houston. There are more tigers in America than found in the wild in the rest of the world.
Why? What the fuck, man? Fucking red state states, man. Red state states? Bruh, why? Why? Like, bro, come on. Like, I know that these are not my fellow black folks doing this. I know my colored people. We wouldn't do stuff like this. You know what I mean? I'm not saying no names, but you know who you are. Go get your mans. Like, bro, no, bro. What the fuck? Why? What is wrong with people, bro? Like, we just, bro, like, I be feeling bad for the stuff that goes on in the world, but then I'll be like, yo, I'm like, yo, humans deserve the shit that be coming to them, bro. They deserve it, bro. They deserve it, bro. And obviously, not every human deserves, you know what I mean? Like, not every human gets their just due. But I'm saying, like, as a race of people, we just deserve the shit that comes to us, bro. Because what are we doing? Why? Why? They did not get here on their own, bruh. Like, this, bruh, for the love of money is the root. I'm starting to see what, like, I was literally just thinking about this the other day. I was like, damn, that's a kind of a crazy sentence that God said. He kind of spazzed, like, and not crazy like I disagree with it, like crazy like I don't understand it. You know what I mean? Because to say for the love of money is the root of all evil, like, that's kind of insane. Like, for all the evil that there is in the world, the love of money is the root. Like, for the love of money is the source. Right? And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? But I'm like, oh, okay. I'm starting to see it a little bit more. And I don't know if it's money. Right? Because what does money really mean? For the love of money. For the love of power. Greed, control. I feel like that's more of where that comes from. Because, like, not money, but for the love of money. Like, what if you love money, what does that mean? If you love money, what does that mean? You love power, probably. You love control. You love accolades. You love attention. So when I put it in that perspective, it's like, oh, okay, it makes sense.
In Houston, there are more tigers in America than found in the wild in the rest of the world. You remember that weird phase when people would use tiger selfies as Tinder profiles? I genuinely hope none of you got laid. And if you had Netflix during the pandemic, you already know about Joe Exotic. My point is, people have had a hard-on for exploiting tigers for as long as we've known about them. And fans aren't going to want to hear this, but this was just another example of that. I will give them credit for 2 things, though. This might be the first story like this where the animal wasn't eventually unalived for being an animal. And number two, it really did feel like they genuinely cared for their animals. I say that because if a 400-pound killing machine really wanted Roy to be a hashtag, his chalk outline would have been on that very stage. When you take a wild animal and turn it into a side act, it's only a matter of time, because one thing about a tiger gone tiger. And ultimately, all the attack was a tiger tigering. And just like that, I think I just gave you the entire plot of Nope without actually spoiling it. Moral of this story? Well, there's actually two. Putting a leash on a tiger is like putting a traffic cone in front of a runway 18-wheeler and telling kids it's safe to cross. And if you really love a tiger, the best thing you can do for it is let it be a tiger. At this point, we're all very much familiar with the Travis Chimp attack of '09. But there's a whole nother part of the story that way less people know about. Chimp Party used to be a business that was run by two people in Missouri. The business being renting out chimpanzees for parties, TV ads, movies, stuff like that. Yeah, at this point, I don't think I even have to say it. Take a shot for every bad decision you've heard in this video. If you're still alive by the end, you just weren't paying attention. Anyway, in 2001, 3 chimpanzees escaped from Chimp Party and wandered down the road. And by escaped, I mean they walked through an unlocked door. The chimps eventually ran into an 18-year-old Jason Coates and a couple of his friends. Chimp activity followed. The 3 chimps charged at the teens, who were chased into their car. And it was at this point where one of the chimps named Susie noticed Jason's dog and went after him. Jason did what any respectable dog father would do. Jason managed to escape into his house while his friends and dog were still in danger and returned with a shotgun. Now, what happened next depends on who you ask. Some say Jason put down Susie after she had already been tranquilized and was no longer a threat. Jason said his friends and dog were still being attacked when he ultimately pulled the trigger. The price of defending his loved ones was that Jason was charged with misdemeanor animal abuse, and the 18-year-old even served 30 days in jail.
Nigga, hell no. Now niggas is just doing whatever, bro. Like, so you're telling me that if I own a tiger unrightfully, right, I have no business owning, let's say I own a monkey. I own a monkey, I have a monkey in what is really captivity, because the monkey has no business being there. The monkey deserves to be in the wild. But I have a monkey. Then the monkey attacks me or X set of people where the monkey is not even at fault. It's not supposed to even be in that situation. Then the monkey does monkey things and the monkey gets put down. But in scenario B, I'm driving down the road. The monkeys pull up on me. The monkeys the monkeys pull up on me. They attacking my friends, my dog, my whatever. I go in the crib, get the shotty, and then I serve prison time. You telling me that people serve more time for having marijuana than somebody will serve for putting a knee on somebody's neck? And I'm supposed to listen. I'm supposed to listen to what niggas say. I'm supposed to jack what niggas say. I'm supposed to be like, well, yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, no. Yeah. I'm supposed to listen to what niggas have to say. I'm supposed to be a law-abiding citizen to the full extent of the law. When you can do more time for possessing marijuana, you see why? Think about it though, right? Why? Think about think about it though. Just think about it, right? Why would the government the government prosecute somebody more for having weed on them, not even distributing, not selling, not advertising, just having it on their person, than they would for somebody putting a knee on somebody's neck? By the way, which then people will say, well, he was having a breathing problem. What I do know is he was breathing just fine before somebody's knee was on his neck on concrete in cuffs. But why would the government do that? I don't know. You could, say whatever you want. But to me, it's like, oh, for the love of money, for the love of power, for the love of greed. So it's just like, to just blindly listen, bro, to what niggas have to say, bro. To blindly listen to niggas saying, oh, Kyrie's this, Kyrie's that. I don't want to hear, bro, how can niggas tell me what, bro, I don't want to hear it, bro. I just don't want to hear it, bro. I just don't want to hear it, bro. Like, I just don't want to hear it from niggas, bro. Like, I don't want to hear fitness advice from somebody who's 500 pounds, bro. I just don't. I don't want to hear tips on how to get girls from an incel. I don't want to hear how to get money from a homeless man. Like, bruh, niggas trying to point their finger in morality and say, oh, well, this is technically wrong. And, like, bruh, like, I can't jack anything, bro. Like, that's just so whack. Niggas dead ass expect me to listen, bro. But the thing that really kills me, the thing that really gets me, bruh, is that niggas will move the way that they move, which is whatever, like, cool. Then I move the way I move based on how you move, and you don't like how I move anymore. Like, that's what really gets me. It's like niggas lied to us and gave us Tuskegee experiments and enslaved our people. Niggas have clearly shown they don't give a fuck about me. Niggas have clearly shown that they don't give a fuck about me. Clearly. Tuskegee, slavery, Jim Crow, it's clear. One time is a mistake. Time and time again, they shown they don't give a fuck about me. And then niggas gonna get mad at me because I don't want to take the shot. Bruh, that's like you beating on your girl and then you go like this and you get mad that she flinch. That don't even make sense. Then niggas gonna get on me because I don't want to do it. Or niggas gonna get on Kyrie and say, no, Kyrie needs to do this. Kyrie needs to take the shot. Kyrie needs to apologize. Stop, yo. Like, yeah, bruh. Get out of here, bro. And niggas don't even keep, like, bruh, I can't jack anything niggas say, bro. I'm supposed to jack, oh, well, you know, that's the moral thing to do. Stop, bro. Stop. I can't, bro, with this, like, morality finger pointing. This shit is so corny, bruh. Like, it's obvious niggas don't care about me. Which is cool. Like, nobody said you had to care about me. That's cool. But then you be like, yeah, I don't understand why the African American community is just, we just don't get it. Oh, okay, cool. Alright, cool. I mean, if you don't get it, that's cool, bruh. That's cool. Then you wonder why people outside protesting for Kyrie. It's just like even if you were doing something good or trying, like, I can't trust your word. I don't really know what, even if you doing that to Kyrie was the right thing, it's hard for me to see. My vision is now impaired. I don't know. I can't tell. Anything you say is the lie. I don't care. You can tell me 2 + 2 is 4. It's a lie, bruh. I don't care. I'm not saying it's right, but it's like, to sit up here and act like you don't understand, that's just dumb. I'm gonna be the first one to give lessons in morality. Nigga, do you know how I even got here? I'm just saying, like, do you even know how my people got here? I'm just saying. Niggas still haven't got reparations. So, like, why we have to talk about what you want? Why are we talking about Kyrie? Why are we talking about Kyrie? Because he shared a video. What? Nobody about to lose their life because Kyrie. Nobody is going to lose their life directly because of Kyrie. If anybody loses their life because Kyrie shared that video, it's not going to be Kyrie's fault. If it induces hate crimes, like, that's not on Kyrie. And where's the line between, where's the free speech line though? Like, where is that line though? Because I get it's a tricky line to play. Like, you can't just, I get you can't just say whatever you want in any circumstances, but I'm just saying, like, at what point is it like free speech? Like, at what point? I'm just saying, like, at what point? If I want to agree with Hitler, like, let's just, because I don't know what was in it, but you know, niggas on First Take saying it's unacceptable in any circumstances to say something that Hitler said. Even if I agree with Hitler, even if like why does that, like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, even his worst case scenario, he was like, Kyrie was like, yeah, you know, Hitler was on some shit. Like, what is that? As long as he's not killing Jews, I don't think the Jews were so mad that Hitler hated them. I think it was more of the concentration camps. I think that was it. I don't think the hateful feelings, I don't think that really mattered. I think the Jews would have been all right if Hitler just was thinking about killing them. I think they would have been all right, or if he would have just shared a video of, oh, I wish the Jews were XYZ. I think they would have been okay. I think where the real damage was the actual execution of the killing and the concentration camps and the enslavement. I think that they would have been all right. I think black people would have been all right if white people just thought about or just spoke about enslaving blacks. I think we would have been fine. I don't think we would have even given a fuck. I don't think we would have cared. I think the issue is the actual action of enslaving. I don't think sharing a video or a documentary or a movie, I don't think that's, you know, I don't think that's the issue. I don't think that's the issue. That's just my opinion, though. That's just my opinion.